But with that being said, we talked about the trade deadline, which is coming up on February the 8th. We got a handful of shows in between now and then. I like to play connect the dots and kind of taking loose pieces of the puzzle and connecting them together to make the whole broader picture make sense. Mm-hmm. And there's been a lot of puzzle pieces that seem to be pointed at Luke Kennard. And I'm not talking about just fan stuff or just media stuff. Shout out to Michael O'Reilly, who's done some great articles for Bluff City Media. You guys can check that out on the website. Some of the great stuff the guys like Parish, guys like Micah have done. As far as trade stuff is concerned, Sean Coleman, I think he's done some stuff too. Luke. I know he does in the Discord. Luke Hadamaker's done some stuff. A lot of guys at Bluff City Media, go check it out. But there's a lot of you start hearing reports, right? And it's like you start hearing that Quentin Grimes has interest from Memphis, right? And then you hear like the Knicks are looking for shooting, right? you hear guys like Chris Harrington who are constantly putting Luke Kennard in trade scenarios. You hear him talking about the tax aprons and all this. You hear all this stuff about, and that's a real thing, man.
Yeah, because Desmond Bain extension coming up.
Yeah, because between Jared John and Desmond Bain, you're about to have a lot of salary tied up in the three dudes, right? So there's certain luxuries you may not be able to have, which is the best shooter in the NBA being the fifth guard in your rotation. Yeah. That might be a luxury that you may not be able to have, right? So I'm looking at a situation where you're worried about that luxury tax, not just the lower. Like I say, it's like the second apron or the second level. Yeah. You're worried about getting there. You're worried about freeing up a roster spot, not only for Gigi Jackson, but your own draft pick.
Yep.
You got to make a spot for both of those guys, right?
Yep. Because your top lottery pick is not going to no G League.
Yeah.
No two-way contract.
Right. You might have Tillman. You might bring Tillman back. But, you got all these situations going on. So there's a trade, man, that looks to be screaming at us in the face that feels like it's inevitable to happen. And that's the New York Knicks. And then the Knicks came out yesterday and said, we want to trade them to a team in the West. I'm like, all right, come on, man. Y'all stop flirting with each other. You know how you kind of like, your friend, you see, because I've seen, it was this girl I was interested in one time, and she was on my partner's Facebook page. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, bro, who is it? Like, he had, pictures with her. I was like, who is it? So he set it up, and I was like, all right, you got the Knicks and the Grizzlies. It looks like they're flirting with each other on Twitter, man. Mm-hmm. Through the media or whatever. So this is what I think is going to happen. Shout out to my boy Parker Van Blaricon, who's one of the pastors at Life Church in Memphis. He's also a big time Grizzlies fan. But he put out a trade proposal, and I was like, that kind of makes sense. And I was like, oh snap! I wonder could I add Roddy or LaRavia or Zaire to that trade, and it still works financially, and it did. And here's the trade idea he was thinking of. He said Grimes and Evan Fournier, right, for Luke Kennard, John Conchar, who I also think the Knicks had interest in, if I'm not mistaken, and then one of Zaire, Jake, or Roddy, right? Mm-hmm. Either one of them, the numbers work. So it'll be a 3-for-2 trade, which would be a consolidation trade, would free up a roster spot for us. Evan Fournier's contract is just like Luke Kennard's, right? You can decline the option on him. That money goes away this summer. Yep. He becomes a free agent. You let him walk, right?
Grimes is a restricted free agent this
right.
summer too, right?
You get Grimes, who lowers the floor of being – because if Grimes is the worst dude on your bench,
you're good.
You're good. You know what I mean? He's a good player. He can play. You know what I mean?
What's his contract like?
I think he's a free agent.
He's a free agent this offseason.
Either this summer or next. It's this summer, right?
I think it's this year. I think he's restricted.
Right.
Check though.
But if you can get him on a pretty friendly deal, you get rid of Kennard. Even if you want to bring Fournier back, you can do that too. But like I said, man, if you can consolidate, if you can get rid of Conchar, whose contract is going to get weird in a minute, you can get rid of him. You can get rid of one of the guys like
he's
Jake.
A free agent next year.
Free agent next year.
Yep.
Like so, this summer he's good.
Yeah, he good.
I feel like that's about to happen, bro. Like I feel like that exact deal is about to happen. Like as I just described, I feel like this happened.
Does that not feel like a lot though? You're giving up.
Nah, because you got to think contract. Well, a lot.
With Kennard, that's what I'm saying. Like talent for talent, does that not feel like a lot?
Let me break news to everybody who's listening to the show, because I hear people saying Clemens just gotta just bite the bullet, man, and just just let Zaire go and just realize, man, y'all think that dude don't see that dude sorry as hell? But nobody, if there's not going to be many opportunities to get rid of, to consolidate those dudes, to get those guys involved in the trade.
Yeah.
If you can move off of, they're going to be an electric tax team next year probably regardless.
Right.
But if you can clear out their roster spot, get rid of one of those guys, and free up tax money, that just screams Memphis Grizzlies trade, bro. It's just how they move. Like if I can just knock out more than one rock with one stone, whatever I'm trying to say, kill two birds with one stone.
Yep.
They're going to do that, man. Plus, I know Grimes is a guy they had interest in anyway, who could defend. He's not the best shooter in the NBA. But he's shooting 40-something% from three. He's young. He's versatile. And then, like you're talking about now, if you do a reset, because that's something I thought about too, man. Like everybody's like posting the pictures of the 2021-22 team and with I just missed the vibes here and I missed this team.
Man, somebody posted to get paid.
All right, no, but check this out. Let's revisit it. Yeah. Let's say you get Grimes, right? All right. So is G.G. Jackson worse than Kyle Anderson? All right. Is Vince Williams
not coming up in the future?
Not yet.
Definitely.
I mean, he's not as good as Kyle now.
Are we
he's
sure
not
about
as good,
it?
Yeah, but
what are we calling good?
We talking about next year. He's gonna be,
you know what I mean?
What are we talking about? Like
his upside is crazy, but I mean, if you're going roster for roster, player for player, Kyle Anderson's better than Gigi.
I don't know
right now.
Depending on what you're talking about, depending on what you call good.
Depending on how you fit, yeah.
Is Gigi a guy you could throw on the best player on another team and say, hey, go shut that dude down like you can with Kyle Anderson? No. But what I'm saying is, all right, you got, Gigi and Kyle.
But
you got.
We think about next year, Gigi.
Yeah.
You want Gigi over Kyle. Duh.
Yeah. Vince Williams or DeAnthony Melton.
Vince Williams. I was never, I ain't going to say I dislike Milton, but the whole playoff performance versus his regular season was always turned me off. So,
and
Vince
then at that point, right, at that point, you're putting Grimes in your fifth guard role, which is him versus Kennard or him versus Conchar in the past.
Man.
That team we would be very good next year, man. And I would hate to lose Kennard. He's one of the best shooters in the NBA.
Yes.
But next year, like we talked about with Keith Parrish last week, if your guards are John Morant, Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane, Vince Williams, I don't want any of those guys sitting down so Luke can play. And I think I understand he's one of the best shooters in the league. But I don't want any combination of two of those guys sitting down while Luke's out there. Like, that's just not where I'm at. You know what I mean? So